Listen up, earth angels. God said, you gotta cut it off. God said, life is too short to be holding on to anything that is weighing you down, anything that is not making you feel easy, something that's not expansive, something that's not exciting. Anything that is not easy, exciting, or expansive to you. Anything that is difficult, boring, and restrictive. Cut it off. God wants you to be liberated. Spirit wants you to be free. You want to be free. That's why you keep tuning into messages like this. You've been feeling the same thing. You got to cut it off. Maybe you're like me and you the cut off, babe. One wrong move, I cut it out. You gone. Better luck next time. I didn't always used to be that way, right? I used to be, the one who is always there, who is kind of afraid of being left out, being cut out. Until I took the scissors back and I was like, oh my God, what have I been even wearing? Let me cut this off. I couldn't, walk straight. Now I got my legs beneath me and free. I got my arms free because I cut it off. I cut off anything that was holding me back. You're being called to do the same. So you cut off any relationship. I don't care if it's your family. I don't care if it's your mama. I don't care if it's your siblings. I don't care if it's a partner. If they're not aligned, they got to go. You got to cut it off. If it's a job, if it's a mindset, a way of thinking that is overly restrictive, cut it off. You got to break free, okay? Yeah, this life is too short, babe. History is full of people who were too afraid to cut it off. I've been hearing this song by Earth, Wind, and Fire. What is it? Something happened along the way. What used to be happy is sad. Something happened along the way. And yesterday is all we had. And oh, after the love is gone, how could you lead me on and not let me stay around? Ooh, oh, after the love is gone, what used to be right is wrong. Can love that's lost be found? Ooh, that's so powerful. Okay, that song kept coming to me today. And yeah, something happened for you along the way in this relationship. And what used to be happy now makes you sad. The thought of being in relationship with these people at this job, in this environment, it makes you sad. It no longer brings you joy. Something happened along the way. And now the only good times, the only good things from this relationship are yesterday. We're in the past. And how's it go next? After the love is gone. And this is how the people are going to be like, okay, so now that the love is gone, you're just gonna lead me on and not let me stay around? And you're like, yeah, you gotta go. Because the next part of that song is about, can love that's lost be found? It can, but you gotta lose it first. If you're holding on to it, can't lose it, can't find it again. You're just holding on to what is no longer. And yeah, especially if you're an American, I know it's kind of difficult because you're surrounded by people who are told that they just got to hold on. You got to stay with your day ones, you got to never burn your bridges. That's the worst thing you can do. You got to always stay connected. But actually, I hate to be like, this is America, but like, this is America. What you talking about? The First Amendment is about the freedom of association, right? The freedom of expression. So freedom of speech, freedom of association, freedom to be able to believe what you want, religion. And what's the point of having those? What's the point of hailing those as kind of like, oh, that's what makes being American so awesome, is we have this freedom of expression if you're not going to freaking use it. You're afraid of saying something that is going to alienate you from someone. Okay. If the relationship can be, harmed by telling the truth, you're not supposed to be in that relationship. So yeah, we got the freedom of speech, the freedom of association, but how many people around you are using that? Everybody else is saying, oh no, I shouldn't say the wrong thing. So they don't use their speech. Oh no, I don't want to, cut anyone off. That is the freedom of association. We don't live in some fascist state that doesn't allow you to associate with who you want to. I don't know why I said it like that. Associate with who you want to. You don't have to hang out with anyone they tell you to. Why? And it's tough because everyone around you is like holding on to this and put so much, value on holding on, no matter what. No, I'm gonna need you to get off. Cut it off. Cut it off. Because they're weighing you down. You can't move forward. You can't expand as is natural, as God wants you to, as your spirit desires. So every time they keep, making you feel small, making you feel confused, making you feel stuck, it's because you got to cut it off. You're not just supposed to, I feel so stuck, it's so hard to move, so let me just sit. No, you cut it off and you move forward. Burn your bridges and go. You're a phoenix. You don't have to be afraid of the fire. You don't have to be afraid of being disconnected from people. You're untouchable. And so we live in a 3D reality where we're seeing this 3D reality that is the result of people refusing to cut off old ways of being, old ways of operating. You're afraid that if you're cut off from the herd, what's going to happen to you? Bro, and let me remind you in case you forgot, that everything that you release will be replaced with something better. But you got to let it go first. If you don't let it go, you are signaling to God, the universe, that this is good enough, even when it's not. So you got to cut it off. You're going to feel much better. You're going to feel freer. And you have been taught to fear that freedom, like it's going to overwhelm you. It won't. Literally. You're bigger than the program. The program wants you to fear that you need the program. No, babe. The program, in fact, needs you to believe in it, to sustain it, to attach yourself to it, to fear cutting yourself off from it. Cut it off. You got to. You have places to go, people to see, people who are more aligned, people who understand exactly what you're saying. You got to cut it off. You've been stuck here too long. You've been accepting this relationship simply because you've had it for a long time. It was maybe it's your family or something. You didn't have a choice in it. And so you're pretending like you still don't have a choice. That's not true though. History doesn't repeat, it rhymes. But the future is not limited in that way. The future doesn't have to rhyme with history. What is unknown, what has not happened yet, doesn't have to have any relation to history, to the past, to yesterday. And you're still holding on. The love is gone, babe. The situation has changed. Information has come to your awareness, and now you got to move with that. You got to incorporate that information, and you got to cut it off. What is no longer serving you. You got to amputate it. The point of amputation is to make sure the thing that is weighing you down is no longer serving you, doesn't poison the rest of you. You got to cut it off. We still love the gangrenous foot. It's gotten us far, but this is as far as we can go with it. So now you got to cut it off. It's making you sick. It's clouding your vision. It's clouding your understanding of what is possible. It's keeping you stuck in a loop. It's keeping you dependent on people, places, systems that you don't actually need, and in fact, are blocking your blessings. You are here to break through. You are here to break out of the boxes that have been set for you. You're not just here to make it a comfortable box, to make it a pretty box for people to be able to understand what they're seeing in your box. You're here to be incomprehensible. You're here to cut off anything that is limiting your fullest expression. So what is it? Why are you still holding on to it? Because it's familiar? Because everyone around you says you have to hold on to it? What the F do they know? They're not connected with spirit like you. They don't see what's going on like you. And they recognize the value you bring in this system. So they're not going to cut it off. I'm going to talk about this on another one. You are holding this all together. Your integrity, your power, your brilliance, your, willingness and ability to work with people is holding it all together. And you're going to find when you leave certain spaces, it's going to fall apart. You were the glue. You were the integrity. But your job is not to stay stuck. Oof. You're the glue and you're the scissors. That's how brilliant you are. You're both. So you don't have to be worried. In fact, you got to get a little bit more comfortable with cutting things off. We're used to other people having the power to cut us off from whatever they got going on. And now you have the scissors, okay? And you're cutting it off. And in order to build up momentum, you got to cut it off from what you used to be doing. If I'm committed to standing here, I'm not going to go anywhere. I got to cut off the old identity who thinks I'm supposed to stay here. And you are trying to be so loyal to this old identity who's gotten you so far. Babe, they've come as far as you can. And if you cut it off, you will be free to start gathering momentum. Actually, I think you're going to find the instant you cut it off, you're going to skyrocket forward. It's like right now, you're being pulled back because you haven't cut it off, but it's like a slingshot. And so as soon as you release, as soon as you cut it off, you're going to catapult forward in the direction where you're supposed to go. But you got to cut it off first. If you want to get that love back, you're not going to get that love back. You're only going to get something better when you release what is no longer serving. So cut it off. You need to cut it. Yeah, you do. Cut it off. Watch yourself go forward. I don't know if you can hear it, but a thunderstorm just started. So, confirmation. God is like, yeah, cut it off. Cut it off. Okay? Separate and go forth. Separate from where you came from and go. That old job, it is not for you. You know that. You're bored there. It's difficult, not because it's a complex thing, but because your heart isn't in it for whatever reason. It's not for you. That's the reason. It's because you're supposed to cut it off. You can't expand where you are. You can't grow. You can't explore. You can't express fully, infinitely, boundlessly, as you are here to do. So cut it off. They want you to be afraid that you need them. You don't. This is a, you can't fire me, I quit. And you're gonna drop the mic. And it's gonna be iconic. They're gonna be talking about you at your job for years to come. Not that many years, because you were the glue holding it together. So after you go, it doesn't have that much time. It doesn't have any integrity left. You were the integrity. Your light was so bright that it was warming everyone. It was keeping the lights on. You were keeping the lights on at that place. And so once you remove your light, they're gonna be like, ooh, it's cold in here. It's dark. Oh my God. The shadows all around. No integrity now that Earth Angel's gone. And I bet you've hung on to these relationships, these jobs, these situations because you were like, oh, well, what's this person going to do without me? They're going to figure it out. In fact, they don't ever get to develop these skills. They don't get to develop the capacity, the understanding, the trust in themselves to be able to figure it out because you keep taking that opportunity away from them. Maybe you get your esteem, your value from being the one who holds it all together. When actually you're here to cut it off. So yeah, these people are not going to cut you off. They benefit too much from you being stuck here with them, attached to them. So you are the one with the scissors. You got to cut it off. And you got to trust that everything you release will be replaced with better. That's what's happening right now. God is calling us, Spirit is calling us to trust that it's all going to be worked out. It's already being worked out for us. You're destined for success. It's already happened on all these other timelines. You're on the timeline you're on your success timeline. You're on your winning timeline. But the only thing that is stopping you from progressing on it is your attachment to people who are on the old timeline. The timeline where everyone is powerless and we can't really do much but go along with whatever everyone else is doing, what everyone else thinks we should do, what everyone has done. Babe, you are here to cut it off. Cut off the loop. Break it. Stop it. Start a new one. And yes, they're going to be like, why? Why are you going? And your silence is your power. I think you've been cutting off people and it's not a big blow up. You're just like, oh, I got to go. And I can't take these people with me. So cut them off. And when they see you doing that, they will be inspired to look around their life and be like, wow, how am I holding myself back? How is my unwillingness to cut off what is no longer serving me, keeping me stuck, keeping me in a loop? And so they see you cutting it off and they start to be like, wait, do I have the power to cut off what isn't serving me? And everyone just starts to thrive. Everyone starts to just advance, ascend. Yeah. So, cut it off. Cut off these Zionists. Whoop! Cut off the people who are making you think, nah, nothing we can do, can't do anything different. The order that has been always will be, so gotta just gotta be quiet, gotta keep your head down, gotta just keep going in the loop. No, you gotta cut it off. Okay, so do it. Cut it off. I'm going to be so proud of you. Um, when you cut it off, it's amazing. Oh my gosh, that was another thing I was thinking about. We're taught to think myths like keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So y'all are out here surrounded by your enemies. What sense does that make? That doesn't seem like something your enemy would want you to do. You don't think your enemy would want you surrounded by enemies, and your friends are close, but not as close as your enemies. What? Cut them off so your people can find you. Cut off the people who are holding you back so your people can find you. I've delivered the message. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. Go check out Billy's channel. And we are going to be doing a hot mic where we're just going to do like a live watch of this Watch the Balloon. So cut it off. Cut it off. All right. Love you. Talk to your Earth Angels tomorrow. Like, comment, subscribe. And I'll see you cuties tomorrow, okay? Love you. Bye.